evening and welcome to Meticulous Moments. My name is Juanita Kapp. You can reach me at meticulousmacarons@gmail.com or find me on LinkedIn. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the globe, I've had the wonderful privilege to meet a wide array of fantastic individuals. These individuals have truly touched my life in so many positive ways. Amongst this group of people, there are authors, public speakers, life coaches, poets, leaders, and visionaries. They are the unsung heroes of our time. Therefore, I decided to start the Meticulous Moments movement out of a sense of my gratitude. It is my way of giving back to the community. Let us share and reshare their stories in an effort to build a better society. This evening we are joined by the lovely and amazing Jamie Stanford. Jamie Stanford currently lives in Jupiter, Florida. He is a licensed Ziegler life coach. He transformed his life with the help of Jesus and self-development books, and now has the privilege of helping others transform their lives. Jamie finds many people are distracted in today's society. He helps them to develop consistent and flexible habits that create more self-confidence and a healthier self-image. If someone can't see themselves owning their own business or marrying the lady of their dreams, they will stay stuck and live a life of regret. Prior to becoming a life coach, he owned a media company and a kitchen and bathroom design business. In addition to being a life coach, he enjoys reading a good book on the beach, volunteering to help end homelessness in Palm Beach County, and impacting the world with the love and message of Jesus Christ. Welcome, Jamie. Good evening and welcome to Meticulous Moments. This evening we have the wonderful privilege of being joined by Jamie Stanford. Jamie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Juanita. I'm just so happy to be here.
Thank you very much for making the time to join us. We really appreciate it. Would you please introduce yourself to us?
Sure. I'm Jamie Stanford. I live in Jupiter, Florida, close to the beach, as you can see my little background there. And I'm a licensed Zig Ziglar coach, and I try to help people transform their lives through coaching. And I really like to say myself as a love and encouragement coach, even though I concentrate on habits. Because, so many times people, Juanita, they come to you and they're stuck and they've been in a position where they just kind of know what to do. So they need a little bit of love and encouragement. Yeah. And that's who God has picked me to be. And I just love transforming people's lives and helping anybody that I can grow and accomplish their goals and what the purpose that God's put them here for.
I love that. And I see heart-centered leadership right there. And I know we are in wonderful company this evening, so we are looking forward to learning so much from you. Thank you very much for that answer.
Well, my pleasure. I'm hoping that I can add some value to people's lives, and thank you again for having me.
I'm sure you will. Jamie, tell us more about your role as a Ziegler coach.
Well, Anita, the main thing that I do is, I think it was somebody said that, everybody's the same, just the only difference is our habits. So I like to help people get their habits to be consistent so that they can grow, because, in this day and age, distraction is so prevalent and it's so easy to get distracted, and you get the little dopamine rush, go see who emailed you, and 7 times out of 10, it probably wasn't important anyway. But, you get distracted. And research shows that every time that you go and check an email, you lose 6 minutes of your hour. So if you go check your email 4 times during the hour, you've lost half of it. Basically 24 minutes you spent just checking things. So, it's really easy to get distracted these days. And the one thing I try to help people have consistent habits. And I have a flexible habit system that I teach and I help people to learn. And it really instills confidence, and it really leads them to a life of joy and fulfillment. And how I do that is just to kind of explain to you a little bit about the flexible habit system. If I were to ask you, if you, what would you like to do? Would you like to fly, look into the future, or develop a new skill every day that you can master? Which one would you pick?
Yeah, I would choose number 3. I want to develop new skills every day that I can master. Yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing, but I would tend to like to fly. If I could get up and fly to South Africa to visit you, I think that would be pretty cool. But, what if you could pick all 3 of them on any given day, right? I don't want to fly today, but I would like to look into the future, right? And see what I would, after I fly there. I already know what new skill or habit I would need if I needed to do that to get there. Well, the flexible habit system kind of makes you have that flexibility, because what I have is I have different ways that you can win every day. So you have a mini habit, plus habit, and an elite habit. And the elite habit tends to take more time and more effort. And, it's like anything. We get we can get distracted, or an appointment would come up and it goes longer than we thought. And then all of a sudden, that habit that we're supposed to do, our goal to build our dream, and it's 10 o'clock at night, and we didn't get it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right? It's late. And, you can say, okay, I am motivated enough to do this. I'm motivated and I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to pull myself, right? And a lot of times if you go to leaders, they'll say the same thing, hey, Jamie, just, or whoever they're talking with, pull up your big boy, big girl britches, and you just dig in and you do it. And, Juanita, I first started in self-development, which is about almost 25 years ago now. Yeah. I failed so many times because I would set a goal, right? And I would think, okay, this is going to be perfect. And I'm all motivated, right? When you first get, and then all of a sudden a couple of weeks go by, and, and I'm trying to do this inflexible goal that I'm supposed to just keep doing it and keep doing it. And it's not sustainable that way, right? So you can just say, well, if something comes up, and you already have these pre-planned, right? It's not like, oh, I'm only going to do one Facebook post. These are things that you've already decided in your mind. If you do a mini habit, it's going to be 3 things. A plus habit is going to be these 3 things. And so you're at the end of the day, right? You're going to say, I can either spend another 2 hours and stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning and mess my other day up. Or I can just say, look, I'm going to do one, in my marketing, for instance, like a plus goal or an elite goal would be I'll spend 2 hours doing direct messages to people. And if I don't want to say, all right, I'm way off track today, I'm going to make one post on Facebook and LinkedIn and I win, right? So you don't miss a habit. You use a habit. And you say, and after you get to be, 25, 35, 55 days, you haven't missed anything. And that instills the confidence, because, if you start something and you want to do it like you have planned, and you miss those goals, right? And all of a sudden you just throw up the towel and say, okay, I just can't do this. It's not sustainable for me. That brings on shame. And, you failed at something. And then if you do that 2 or 3 times, right, you're thinking, that's what I used to think of. I read all of these self-development books and I see all these people, supposed to be doing all this stuff, and I can't do it. And then when I learned this habit system, it was just so wonderful. Right now, I would tell people, if you can't do something for 2 minutes, you don't need me, you need a psychiatrist. So
I love that.
you can really, obtain your goals on a system that you develop, and that will is sustainable, and that can get you there. Yeah. And that's really how you build your self-esteem. And then if you have someone like myself or like you who are coaching and you encourage people to keep going and, give them different alternatives, the chances that they're going to fail at that system is very slim. of a sudden they just get there and they don't want to, do it any longer. But
Yes.
it's just such a sustainable, and I just love it. And I'm excited to teach people it because, everybody, 99% of the goals and strategies that we have are inflexible.
Yes. So we've got you busy with the development of consistent habits. We've got the building of confidence. We've got the facilitation of the growth of a healthy self-image, which I think all leads to and combines to not only being adaptable in the time that we are living in because of all the distractions, but also to teach you how to trust your decisions and how to learn and foresee, not to set yourself up for failure. Right. To make sure that what you have planned you can attain, and to be adaptable enough to know that and I was just speaking to someone before our call, explaining to them that we are not always in control of everything. We have to be adaptable. Right. And COVID has taught us that we thought we were in control, and all of a sudden doesn't matter. It didn't matter from which walk of life we were. It didn't matter in which field of study or area we worked. We all just had to adapt. And I think your system that you work on is amazing. I think it's helping so many people to feel like they can do something about their reality. Thank you very much for that. That's very interesting, that combination. Consistent habits, building that confidence and facilitating healthy self-image and growth. What feedback have you received until now?
I mean, people love it because it gives them freedom, right? Yeah. Okay, freedom to do this. Yeah. And again, like I said, most of the time, people are taught that, just pull up your bootstraps and do it. And, Juanita, if you have ADHD or you're a procrastinator, when you say that to someone, yes, they can't put their mind around, right? And so if you have a like that says, are you coachable, right? Are you this person that I'm go? Well, no, I'm not. I'm a person that needs flexibility. I need to know why I'm accomplishing this goal. Yeah. And I sometimes reminded of that. So it really one size doesn't always fit everybody.
Very true.
That really just keep on going.
Yes, not giving up. And this method can help people from different, viewpoints and worldviews. And some people, like you said, with the ADHD, I mean, just as a human, we are easily distracted. We have this continuous thought process, and it's even worse now in the society that we live, because now we are bombarded with social media 24/7. After the COVID, we are accessible for 24 hours a day because we work hybrid. And I think that even makes it worse for ADHD people or people that are overthinkers to focus and really concentrate. And I think you have a wonderful formula to help these people to, grow. Like you said, I love the word in that sentence, growth, because as leaders, and we love to discuss leadership, we never stop growing personally and professionally. And COVID taught us that. People that were at the top of their field, that had almost reached their ceiling of, expertise, there was something for them to learn when COVID hit, because they had to change the whole way that they, approached their leadership. So your model is something that people can just relish in, that there is hope. If you feel distracted, if you feel like you're not getting to that routine and there's the things that you want to do, this teaches you how to get there. So I commend you on that. That is amazing work.
Well, thank you so much. Actually, I got it through Stephen Guys. He wrote the book, and I just implemented it into my system.
Love it. That's good.
But it's just a way, that, and if you can get up and win every day, right, by the things that you're trying to do, your brain's, okay, I'm winning, and that's a reward, right? I think I can do it, and you have the sustainability. Where if your brain says, I'm getting kind of tired, because your whole brain thing is, right, how can I save energy? How can I save energy? And this new is not saving me any energy. I think we should quit.
That's so normal. And we have to really overcome that and say, well, no, we're going to push through. We're going to make it.
Unless you have a flexible system, you said, oh, today I'm just going to take it easy and I'm going to spend 2 minutes on my goal. But the whole thing, Juanita, is that showing up, right? If you don't show up and get discouraged, then you're not going to continue. And the one, they can either, you can go through the pain of discipline, or you can go through the pain of regret, right? A Jim Rohn statement. And, we try to make them go through the pain of discipline, but not so much that it's sustainable, right? And you don't live in a life of regret where you had this great idea, but you just couldn't quite pull it off.
Yeah. You wanted to. You had that driving force, you had that passion, you had that vision, but you just couldn't. I agree completely with you. And that is helping people attaining their goals, and realizing dreams of people and really developing them to their full potential. And that is what we love to do here at Meticulous Moments, because our aim with these interviews is to facilitate community upliftment through leadership development, helping people to go over into that action, to make whatever they plan and dream of a realization. So I find that wonderful and amazing.
Oh, good. I'm hoping our audience finds a little bit of a value in it as well.
They will. Which brings me to the next question, which starts with a statement. You live in Florida and you are very involved with the homeless, and we would love to learn more about that.
Well, Juanita, we live in a city where there's 42 billionaires that live in this city that have permanent residence, more than that come here, visit during the season time. But yet we have 4,000 people that sleep on the streets at night. And to me, I couldn't imagine going to war, and I can't imagine living on the streets, right? And the people that I see, if you think about, we want to go to the grocery store, we want to go on a job interview, we get in our car and we have the money to do it. If they want to go to a job interview, they have to take 5 buses to get there. Typically, they don't have a mailing address because they have a lot of times people don't allow. And they're exhausted. So every day that they get up, it's a survival, right? If you see them, okay, I have to go here for a shower. I have to go here for lunch. I have to go here if I get it, if I have one. And can you just imagine how emotionally straining that would be? So I work up a nonprofit called the Lord's Place, and they have campuses where they can house people. I volunteer in the food in the Cafe Joshua, and what we do, we serve people on China. When they come in, they make a reservation because sometimes it's a matter of making the appointment, right? Showing up, and if you're homeless and if you've been going through this stuff, even to show up for a job interview on time can be difficult. So if you make a reservation at the cafe, you show up, it teaches you. And one of the main hotels, luxurious hotels that we have in Palm Beach is called the Breakers. And we have not we, but the Lord's Place has hired a chef from there. So when they come in, choices, and we serve them. I did about 20 years in the restaurant business, so in upscale restaurants. So basically, I treat them like they were paying $50 for that meal.
Fantastic.
And it really builds their self-confidence. It makes them think that they're worth something, right? It's not
dignity.
Because most of the time places you go to get a meal, it's cold, it's a sandwich, and they give it to you in a bag or a paper bag. How does that make you feel? And then a lot of times, after a while, it's like anything, Juanita, you get callous of people who you deal with every day, right? and you end up just not, you're not, you don't speak to them nicely. You don't treat them with the respect that they do. And we have to remember that we're all God's children, right? They're just in a different place. And what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to love them. We're supposed to love them. And that's, and I just get so much joy out of it because I can people. And we know when they come in, they'll kind of seek you out and, oh, this is what I'm working on, Jamie. And can you, and I try to encourage them. That's a great idea. And just to give you an example, there's a lot of them really, Juanita, are talented. It's just that through
I believe it.
Something bad happening in their life, they found themselves on the street. Some of them 6 months, some of them for 16 years, but this guy is a really good artist. And he said, Jamie, what I was thinking of is I could draw and offer them to a tattoo parlor, and they could have them, I could sell them to the tattoo parlor, and then they could duplicate it.
Yeah.
And, that's a great idea. And so I said, if you do 10 drawings, I will take to a couple of tattoo parlors, and we'll try to sell to the tattoo parlors. And that gives them hope, right? I mean, that one little statement that says, hey, here's enough about me that if I do this, right, if I follow through on my thing, then he forward. And I think it's John Maxwell that says, if you have hope in the future, you have power in the present.
Wow.
So that power, and that gives them uplifting, so that they think, I can maybe have 10 tattoos in this tattoo parlor. I don't know. When I was growing up, nobody had tattoos. Now everybody has.
Well, you were speaking, and I thought of 4 things. Okay. And the first thing I thought of was, how disheartening should it be for someone to have to take 5 buses just to get to a place where they have an interview, to look for a place to bath, to make sure they have that meal? How does that feel? I don't think we realize how that feels. The second thing I was thinking of is that I was on a live with Emilio Roman today, and he was speaking, I was attending the live, and he was speaking on a wonderful topic and a new book that is coming out. And I remember commenting that we need to treat every single person with love and dignity. Right. Every single person. So in my town where I live, I make it my mission to treat everybody with love and dignity. When I go to the spa or the Checkers, that is the name of our shops, I go to the cleaners and I thank them and I say, thank you for this beautiful clean floor. Because if it wasn't for your hard work today, I wouldn't want to shop here. I'd have to drive all across town, which would take me my time, my energy and my effort. But instead you are here doing your job. And because of you, I can have a good shopping experience. Right. The third thing I'm thinking is that we should do a call out to all those 42 billionaires in Florida, because I'm sure there's at least 1 or 2 of them that can make a positive difference.
Right. I mean, you can't totally eliminate homelessness, because there's some people that just want to be homeless. There's like alcoholics, there's some people that just don't want to quit drinking. But and in this America, if you want to be not homeless, right? Yeah. You should be able to. I feel the same way.
And the fourth thing I was thinking is that absolutely we grew up in a time where tattoos were taboo. But I love tattoos. I have a few tattoos, and I've learned in my years in the ministry that we should really not, judge and think and like they thought in those days. So I hope and I pray that wonderful individual who has that talent for drawing, that he gets so many tattoo parlors that want his drawings and that he makes such a beautiful success. I'm going to pray for him every night from now on because
Yeah.
I believe that God gave him that talent.
Right. I believe it too. I mean, to be able, and when I'm talking about talent, I mean, you think, you could sell this if you had the means, right, to put it on, frame it, you could sell it
Wow.
to and get yourself off of the streets.
Yeah.
But he's very talented, and you see people like that. Not all the time, but quite often, that they have a dream and they have an ambition, and if you can facilitate them in getting there, and
Yes.
it's self-image is what gets you there, right? I mean,
Yes.
85% of Americans have self-image, so
Yeah.
it's something that a lot of people struggle with. But if you have, if you're living on the streets and you have people, treating you, or when they drive by something, just get a job. It's you don't have a good self-esteem, and you
Of
need
course.
that encouragement, and you need to say, hey, you're important. You have as much
Yes.
possibility as anybody if you will just put in the effort to do it.
Yes.
Because without effort, there's nothing going to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes, they just need a kickstart. They just need to know there's just someone there supporting them, believing in them, and that brings them to that place where they get that momentum, and they have a chance to better their lives.
Yeah.
Now, you are a leader of note, and I would like to ask you to please share with us your leadership strategy when you converse with homeless individuals. What is the approach that you take? Because we can all learn from that. How do you approach them? What is your leadership? How do you get that door into their hearts and minds for them to really listen to what you have to say, seeing as they have been ridiculed by people so often?
Well, fortunately, we have at the place that I volunteer at, they have called peer specialists, and they're the ones that go out the street, and and to qualify to be a peer specialist, you've had to be homeless so that you can communicate with them.
Wow.
They talk to them because sometimes, like I said, they've had stuff stolen from them. They've been mistreated,
Yeah.
and they don't trust people. So by the time I see them, a lot of that has been done. But how I can lead them is to be kind, to to let them see that, hey, if I have this idea, or maybe I don't have an idea yet, but I'm willing to listen to someone that can give me hope, and if you can make them believe that they can be off of the streets, if you can make them believe that they have a house and they can show up at the job on time and they can provide for their family.
Yes.
That first start, Juanita, to legacy, right? If you can take their parent now, because a lot of them do children, and you can take them where they are now and give them hope, and then they can give their kids hope. Because a lot of times, I'll meet people and all they want, there's a little bit of self-entitlement sometimes when they're homeless. Look, I know I have talent, but you've been working hard, Jamie, and it looks like you've made money. So can you just give me? And it's not hard to it's hard to say I'm going to give you, right, when you know that they just need $20 or something, which I do, but only a little bit, because they become codependent on you. So my job is to give them hope, right, and to be kind to them, and to draw ones that they have to, because a lot of times, when you come in for training, right, and I don't have anything against Jiffy Lube, but they will train you. You can go and get a job at Jiffy Lube and make $15 an hour.
Yeah.
You're not really going to have a fun life unless that's something that you want to do, right? If you like to work on cars, you might like to work at Jiffy Lube. But if you like something else and you're forced to do that, then you become even more bitter, right? There's somebody that says, look, you're only good for this. And if you can change perspective and you can say, look, like anybody in America or South Africa, you can do anything that you want. right? If you just put in the time and put in this and learn the skills. And we're here to help you. We're here to help you get that. We're here to help you have some resources that you need to obtain your dream. And to me, that is, that's the best leadership that I can give to the homeless that I deal with, is because that's the start, right? I am somebody. I'm somebody. And I can do this because he said so. I didn't believe it until today, right? That I had any hope. But I have hope now. And I come back and he gives, and not me, but we give them hope. The whole organization gives them hope that that they're worth something and that they have the ability to do it if they will just try. And to me, that is the best leadership for that individual and that group of people.
Fantastic. Really taking them from that mentality of lack and being destitute and putting them in another frame of mind, telling them that their dreams are accomplishable, their dreams are valid, and they are loved enough and appreciated enough to attain those dreams and those goals, and really helping them to go over into action. I find what sometimes how our systems have sometimes fallen short was, we used to be in a place, especially in the church, where we used to just, help every single time. Like you mentioned, you shouldn't make them codependent. So at some point in the church, we realized that we were enabling people through the constant assistance in the same manner, year in, year out. We were enabling them to stay in that mindset of lack. And so we started programs where we welcome them with open arms. We help them get on their feet, and we teach them ways to make a living for themselves. We teach them ways to, put systems in place so that they can be successful, enabling them not to stay in that mindset of lack, but enabling them to set their vision and their goal to something more and to progress in a healthy manner towards that. And I see the correlation between what you are doing in Florida and what we try and do in the church here in South Africa. And that makes me very happy, because everybody deserves to have their dreams fulfilled.
Right. I mean, if you want to take a look at, and we have the American Indian in the United States, and we put them on reservations and we give them everything. And I don't know what, most of them are alcoholics, because they have nothing to strive for. Now they have to see a little bit more money, but in the most of the time, they're just, if you get up every day and you have no goals to cross, and then you have someone that says, okay, on the first of the month, here's a check, and make it go through the whole month, and then here's some food stamps, and here's this. What motivation do you have, I feel, to even live? Right? I don't even know how people get up every day and live like that, because that God put in our hearts a purpose, and everybody has that purpose and that dream that they.
Yes.
But if you take that away from them, then drugs and alcohol and they have that point as well. So they have no hope, and so it's just if you can instill hope in people and feel that they're worth it. I mean, Ziglar's like, unless you have a healthy self-image, everything else I'm going to teach you or try to teach you is of no value. Because if you don't see, then nothing I can do with the systems that we have and with the encouragement that we have is going to get you. You can't see yourself there. But the one thing he says, is go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll always be able to see further. So the thing is to just get them there, and then they can see farther.
Absolutely. And I was, I'm so inspired by what you're saying. I'm actually making a note here of something that popped into my mind as you were speaking. I saw that self-image is really the key to success and to a better future and to that victory and to achieving your goals. And I think what is so magnificent of what you are doing is that you build them up first. You mentioned that they come to the restaurant and they are treated like customers.
Right.
And that changes a person. It ignites that little bit of hope in their heart again, that maybe, tomorrow will be better.
Right.
And I think that's priceless.
Right. And if I'm feeling down today, at least I can go to the place and get uplifted, have a nice gourmet meal, and start over again tomorrow. Because depression it's okay if you're down for a day or two, just don't let it to be weeks, months, and years that you're down. Right?
Yes.
And they come to this organization, they get that hope and they get that feel for the future that they can have it.
Yeah.
And do treat them with respect, so they think, okay, I know I can do it. And and you get out there and you just encourage them along the way, and and love and compassion, I believe, Juanita, is the key to life. I feel better, and everybody gives love and compassion to people. We model Jesus, so we know that's going to make us feel good, and then and the person receiving it gets just as much out of it as we as I do. And so it's just a win-win-win for everybody.
Fantastic. And that's true leadership. Bringing that plan into full circle. I love that. So tell me, Jamie, we've done a call out now to the 42 billionaires in Florida. We're going to see who's going to respond. So we're going to trust that someone will respond. For the audience, how can we get involved with your project? How can we assist you?
Well, obviously we always need funds, right? You can do nothing without money.
Yeah, true.
Go to thelordsplace.org. You can go to the website and there's a place to give. Or if you want to volunteer, just call the organization, because we have a man's campus where men who are homeless and gotten out of prison, come stay. There's about 100 of them there, and you can volunteer there and encourage them and help them along. We have 4 women's campuses, a family. If you wanted to help, like the family campus, if you wanted to encourage children, right, who have already went through the trauma of homelessness, right, and now they're in a home, and if you can have someone go in there and again, at a young age, to teach them that they're loved, right? Them that they have skills that are unique to them, because we're all unique individuals, and they can do anything that they want in life if they just believe that they can do it. Because between 4 and 8, as that is the most developed time that kids develop. And if you're between that age and all of a sudden you go through a divorce and you're homeless or your parents get sick, unless somebody's there to help you, unless somebody's there to encourage you, it can throw your whole life off until you could adapt depression, and you can adapt inferiority complex at that age. And then it's hard to overcome. Right. So, and again, but if you can step in and say, look, that's in the past, right? We know that you went through that, and we understand that. You may need help to get through it. Today, I love you. I'm here for you. And what do you want to do today that's going to make you happy? Right? What is it that I can do to further you along in life today? It doesn't have to be always training them to do something, right? It's if you want to play checkers today, we can play checkers, and we can laugh, and we can have fun, and that gives them again self-image and self-esteem. That is the key, right? I can give you $1 million, but unless you have the self-esteem to take it, right, you're going to go blow it, right, and you're not going to use the right thing. I think it's a statistic that 80% of all the lottery winners are broke in 5 years.
Can you believe that? Wow. You know what I was thinking while you were explaining is that you will know with the homeless that you work with, many of them were very, like you said, very successful people. And one event kind of put them out of place and it spiraled into something. And before they know it, they are homeless. And when they are homeless for a long time, sometimes people that win the lottery, they didn't have a lot to begin with, and that's why they, after 5 years, they are broke. It's really because they are suffering of something that we call in counseling money trauma. They got so shocked by the lack of money and the situations around them that when they do receive it, they don't know what to do with it. That money trauma causes them to spend it in an ill manner, or to not look after what they have. And we have to change our view on people that are homeless, because often these people are educated people. They are skilled people. They are talented, all of them. I mean, you said earlier, God has a purpose for all of us. So I think really when people start to give, and when they decide in their hearts to give, they have to stop looking at homeless people in that manner, to say, yeah, but they don't want to work, or they're just drug addicts, or they're just alcoholics. Some of them, and I think most of them, and you can give me the statistic on that, didn't want to be homeless in the first place. There are those that would love to live like that. It's their way of living. They want that, they're comfortable, they're in their comfort zone. But many of them did not ask for this. What is your view on that?
Well, I think that typically you don't wake up one day and say, I would like to be homeless.
Yeah.
It's there by a circumstance. And,
Yes.
I feel so many people that are addicts as well have had a life of trauma, right? You don't become an alcoholic typically if you're in an unconditionally loved family.
Yes.
Right? Conditional love when you're a kid can set you up for anything that you want. But if you have an alcoholic parent, right, that demeans you, and you see that, know any different, right? You think that this, so you show up and you do that to your family, and or you end up homeless because you drink and you can't keep a job. But if we look at that as not somebody that, alcoholics are not alcoholics because they had a great life, right? They're typically alcoholics because they went through some kind of trauma in their life, or drug addicts, they went through some kind of trauma in their life. So, if we can take that into consideration when we're dealing with them, that look, they need, and again, it's really love, Juanita, that will break it. That if you can show them love every day, okay, you were supposed to not drink last night, but you did.
Yeah.
Okay, right? But I love you and I'm compassionate. So let's try it again today, right? Can we try it today? Because it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time. And we don't, and I go through I think the recovery plans that they have, or the programs that they have. Everybody should go through them once, because to get through forgiveness and to forgive people who you typically are not liking at this minute, because they're the ones that showed you the trauma, right? And you, at that minute, Juanita, you could be powerless to stop that. But once you go through the program, it's only my view, I'm not condemning any programs, but for you to go through the program and then get up after I'm done with the program and say, I'm helpless to conquer this, or I'm helpless to control this habit I have. You're teaching them every single day to say that I'm helpless to over this particular addiction. But if you can say, if you can convince them and through love and compassion and guidance and leadership that you are no longer an alcoholic. When somebody says, do you want to drink? Don't say, I don't drink anymore, or I'm a former alcoholic and I can't take a drink. No, I don't drink, right? I just don't drink. And you believe that. It becomes a your identity, right? Let's do
Yes.
habits, right? You have to replace the bad habit, drinking, with the good habit of loving your family, getting a job, feeling like you're a part of society. And then when people say, 5 years from now, do you want to drink? Your identity has changed so much that you don't even think about drinking.
Yes.
But it is proof. Research shows that if you get up every day of your life and it's great to be a mentor to people who are going through it, but don't make me
Yeah.
say that I'm powerless under this addiction because I'm no longer an addict. That's not part of my identity anymore. I believe that
Yes.
that's only part of the program that I really disagree with. Like I said, I think that everybody should go through it every time, but I don't think I should be encouraged to be a lifelong member.
Oh, good, good. I like that. I like that. It brings me to the next question, which is, what is an example of the worst type of leadership that you have experienced or witnessed in your life before?
Well, I believe that, a lot of entrepreneurs, right, that with employees of 5 or less, right, they have this skill that they're very good at, and maybe in the cabinet remodel or the bathroom and kitchen remodeling business, and that you have talented people that do that, and they will get busy, hire a person or two, but very seldom do you see a small business with 5 people or less, or even 10 people or less, that create a system so that their business grows, right? If the employees are the employees at some place, or they have to make a decision, what do? They don't make the decision of their own. They call the owner and say, "This is the situation. What do I do?" And they typically tell them what to do. And a lot of them will, if they do something on their own, well, I would have done it this way, right? I would have done it this way. When if you just, can look, I think there's a saying that, you can have control and not grow, or you can release control and grow, but you can't have both. Right?
Yes.
You have to let one or the other go. And so many of them, they just want to control everything. And it's not just one. I mean, that's typical for small entrepreneurs. And I think if we could figure out a way to let them understand that the way to success is to grow and trust the people that you hire. And like Avi had a saying, I think, when one of your people call you, it's not do this, do this, do this. It's how can I help you? Because if you're clear on your goals of what you want that person to do, right? If you're vague, it doesn't work. But if they're clear on their part in the vision of your company, then they look. I thought about this, right? Because you can't think of everything, especially if you've got departments that you're trying to control, right? And so you never know. But that one person that can say, look, I'm out in the field all the time, or I deal with the customers all the time. And what about this? That could be your aha moment, right? That says, I never thought about that. Thank you so much. Right. And that's when you have a culture, right, that allows you to grow, allows your company to have an environment where people want to come into the office or come into with their job, and they say, hey, I know it's going to be a great day because we have all of this planned. But if you have to come into the office at 8:00, 8:10, you get there, oh, you're late, right? You're late. And you have to call them for every single thing that you do. Is that going to give you a life of joy and fulfillment and want to do the thing? No, you're not going to do anything because this person didn't tell me to do it. I didn't do it. And the customer may say, do that. He didn't tell me to do it. So I didn't do it because I was afraid I'd make him mad. Right. So I think there's not one moment in my life I think that's a bad leadership. There's just a whole of people who have small businesses that are control freaks and they don't grow. And their employees suffer.
Absolutely, and it resonates with the post I did in the CLA a few days ago, where I said I've heard of micromanagement, but I've never heard of micro leadership, because a true leader doesn't do that. It's not in our scope of leadership to do that. We don't micromanage or, act in that manner. And as you were describing the worst type of leadership, I was thinking to myself, you and I are both CLA members, Connected Leaders Academy members. And it's showing me once again that the leaders in the Connected Leaders Academy are the best in the globe. Because every single person that I've connected with have always asked me, how can I help you? How can I serve you? And I find it amazingly refreshing to see that people that have reached all those levels of leadership are still serving with their hearts as servants and are there to uplift and upbuild and assist everyone. That is just amazing. It's showing us that they are the cream of the crop, I believe, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, I'm so blessed, I think, to have met Jose and to be a part of this community. I mean, it is amazing for me as well. I mean, and if you come and serve like Jesus, right? He didn't come to be like a king or a prince or anything. He came to serve. And I think if you serve, then not only are you going to get joy out of your life, but it's the principle of sowing and reaping, right? You sow anything that this person needs, then it's going to come back to you in some way or another, and usually in multiples of 10 or 100, right? So if we can offer that humble leadership role, right? If I'm not here to control you, I'm not here to tell you to do this and tell you how high to jump. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. This clarified goal that we have set for each other. And to me, that is leadership. And so far, everybody that I've had the virtual coffee with as well has been the same. So I'm very blessed to be a part of this community.
That's wonderful. And that's the essence of excellent leadership. And that is what we are aiming for. So we are very, very blessed indeed. Now, I want to ask you, Jamie, can you define leadership for us in the general sense of the word? What is leadership to you?
Well, I think leadership, Juanita, is really taking someone who, again, where you've had this clarified goal for them, and you lead them to have the best life that they can possibly have. I mean, it's not that they work for us as leaders, right? We actually work for them. And we say, how can I improve your life? Because, when you come to work, you don't just, it's not just 8 hours, right? I mean, when you go home, if I beat you up all day, that's going to affect your family. That's going to affect how you, that's going to affect everything. But if you encouraged, right? And you said, when you get home and you say, wow, Juanita, you have a husband, and he's like, this is what I accomplished today. And this is how I got involved with this community. And tomorrow I'm going to do more, right? And your kids see that. And and people, the people you have relationships with see that. And it just is a domino effect, really, of everybody that you're around sees your happiness, sees the way that you serve, right? Because if you see me, or if I'm a leader in this particular situation, and I treat you that way, then you're going to, leadership and management are not what I thought it was, right? I need to encourage people. I need to say, hey, this is how really a good job opportunity is, or this is how I'm going to build business by treating my employees like Juanita or Jamie treated me. And I'm going to inspire them to grow. And if you think about that, it's just such an empowering situation, and the whole you in a sense, can change all the people that you're connected to. You can change their lives by just being kind, by creating, having value in all the people that you see and that you meet, and encourage them. Don't have to think about, oh, that was my idea, right? I had that idea. No. we came up with that idea.
Mm.
You did it with my guidance. So you were the one that actually came up with that idea. Just together. And I think that if you're that kind of leader, then you're going to go far, and your employees are going to grow your company to go to and be higher up in the company, or have the power. They can't advance anymore in your company to start their own company or go to a larger company where they can have an impact. And that, in a sense, that's life, right? How can I wake up today and have an impact in the community or in who I come in contact with?
Wow. I love that. I love that. And I want to ask you, what does self-leadership signify to you? Leadership of self, because in the corporate world, we work with leadership of self, leadership of others, leadership in the corporation, and leadership with stakeholders. It's like it starts small, but it's the most important part of leadership that resonates out, that ciphers out. So where does self-leadership start in your opinion?
Well, I mean, I think that again is clarity on what I'm doing in my purpose in this particular community, right? What am I supposed to accomplish when I'm here? And then to come up with the best strategies, right, to accomplish that goal, and to give myself grace if I don't get it, make it in the time limit that I want, or maybe it ends up a little bit different than the way that I'd planned. So I have to be flexible as well, and what I'm trying to accomplish, and not myself up. But I think if I have, if you give me an assignment and I have clarity on it, I call it, it's kind of like your life purpose, right? If I have a purpose in life, then what is the system that I need to accomplish to get to that purpose? So if leading you, right, and our community, our corporate goal is to get here, or if I can have clarity on it, and if I can inspire myself, right, to show up every day and do the best that I can possibly do, then, and I can go home and say, Jamie, today was a great day. Then to me,
love that.
And I've had a good, and I've had a good leadership of myself.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, and so true. And so true. And it brings me to the next question. What is your fondest leadership memory? What were you, in which position were you? Where you led someone and something amazing happened? What is your fondest memory in leadership, if you think back?
Well, actually, I was actually an assistant to a person, and I felt that it was actually my best leadership moment, because I closed a business, and I was transferring into this, but I hadn't really figured out what I wanted to do, and I was working as in the same industry, and and she went from control, like a normal person would in a small entrepreneurship, to implementing systems and growing her business to levels that she had not thought about that was going to be possible, to get a new upscale market, and believe in herself that she could actually have that market, because she is very talented. So to me, I wasn't even in a leadership position. But I was able, because they had respect for me to a point where she grew her business, and it was something that, I just feel that one of the best leadership moments that I had.
Fantastic, fantastic. And that also shaped you into the leader that you are today, seeing that it's possible, to achieve. Right.
Well, I mean, the one thing that I believe, since I got started in this, this leadership business and self-development, it is true. Everything is possible if you can just believe it. And if you will surround yourself with people that are going to encourage you. And I love this statement, is show me your 5 best friends or the people you hang around with, and I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
And if you surround yourself with people that encourage you, that have done some of the things that you want, that you're trying to accomplish, then you're going to be, it's going to be an amazing life for you, and you're going to believe everything is possible because you've seen them do it, right? And one of the a little saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to be in another room.
Yes. I love that. I love that. You know, when I work with the youth, especially with the youth, I always tell them, be careful who you surround yourself with, because it rubs off. Whether you realize it or not, sometimes we pick up little things, little mannerisms, little ways of doing things and saying things with our subconscious. So be very vigilant of who you spend your most time with, not shying away from people that you can impact positively. That's not what I teach them, but your inner circle, make sure that they are the right caliber of people, that they work towards what you work towards, and that they see your vision, that they believe in you, and that they support you. Because we don't even realize it, but people affect our lives, and it is so easy for something negative to creep in there. So yes, the first 5 people around you, I agree. And in the room, yes, I don't want to be the smartest person, because I love learning. So I agree with you on that as well.
And another thing, encourage them to read. I mean, so many people read a book after they get out of high school or college. And that's really the time that you should be learning, right? Read in your industry. Read about leadership. Read about sales. Read about everything that you can that can help you really attain the life that you want. You don't have to have, people who have made millions of dollars. I mean, Zig Ziglar had such an impact on my life. And I only saw him I never met him. I saw him do a speaking engagement, but it was through reading his books. I mean, he's the one that brought me to Jesus.
Wonderful.
And 3 people that had, the most influence on my life. Most of them I haven't met. It was Jesus, Zig Ziglar, and a gentleman, another pastor named John Bevere. Those 3 men ever met have impacted my life tremendously. And if I wouldn't have been able to read books, right, and know what they were doing and have them explain to me how I can accomplish things that I never thought possible, then that's the advantage of reading a book or watching a video, or if you don't like to read, do an audio book. But somehow never quit learning, because when you quit learning, you're close to dying.
Valuable advice indeed. Audience, listen up. Valuable advice. My next question to you is, when do you feel appreciated as a leader when you deal with clients?
Well, I mean, I think it's really watching them grow, right? If they will take your suggestions and say, what about trying this, right? Being a coach and leader is not saying, I think you should do this, right? Because I may want to do it, but that's not your personality and your lifestyle. But if you can take their personality and their lifestyle and say, what about this? Can we do this together? Can this be something that we can accomplish in your dream? And as you see them grow, right? Because again, 85% of the people that coaches deal with have a self-esteem issue. And if you can see them grow and develop people, the people that can say, Jamie, I think that I can do that. And I now do a system, right, that will get me there. I have this big goal that I want. What are the system that I need to create to actually, and with your experience, with our experience, and with the development and all the books and stuff that we've read, typically we can develop a system and encourage you along the way that can help you reach that goal. And so, just seeing people go from here to here, and you had an influence, right? Even any little thing like that just makes me so happy. I mean, that's why I love this opportunity that I have as coaching. That's why I love the opportunity I get to serve the homeless, when I get to serve at church. It's to encourage people, and to, again, everything kind of goes back to Jesus, right? And if you can show and the encouragement that and the grace that he gives us, then they have no other alternative but to themselves and grow.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Seeing them flourish in their lives and attaining what they need to attain, and really stepping into the role that they were destined to play. Just seeing that is just amazing. And it makes everything that we do as leaders worthwhile.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it was all about me, I wouldn't like it. But it's really never about me. It's about who I'm coaching or who I'm with.
Amen.
How can I?
Amen.
It goes back to the Stephen Covey statement, right? How can I help you?
Yeah, I love that. So, Jamie, tell me, what, in your opinion, is the perfect way to spend a team building weekend?
Well, I think that if you have a team building weekend, you have a group of people who you hope have similar hopes and dreams because they're working in a particular situation. And if you really get a chance, I think, if you're just working, you don't have a chance to really get to know me, right? Because we're in a controlled situation, almost, in fact. But once you get into a weekend, right, then one person may have grilling experience, and another person may know how to cook this little vegetable that nobody's ever heard of. And, it's not really all about teaching about leadership. You have that time that you teach them or encourage them about where the company's going, and you give them maybe a little bit more clarity. But it's really, I think, about, getting to know your leaders, getting to know the people who you work with, because typically you're not going to know that, right? And then you're becoming like a team, right? But you become a family, and you say, look, if you need help, I'm going to help you. I mean, I remember reading, Pat Riley, big basketball coach here, and he does the Miami Heat. But he was like, if I can, when they come back to start the season, they give certain percentages to improve, right? If you can improve in a day, then you're going to, at the end of the year, you're going to be 37% better than you were at the start.
Yeah.
And right, and say, look, Juanita, if this is your struggle, right, in doing this, I happen to have that quality. I can help. And that team building weekend, if you were just doing work, right, at work, you might not have never known that, hey, and you might not have ever been vulnerable enough because you didn't know me enough to say this, because it becomes a competitive thing, right? But if you're not in competition and you're saying, how can I help you again? The team then becomes more, I think, of it close to a family, and you grow together. And if you can grow together, it's better for you, it's better for the organization, it's better for the end product, which it makes it better for the customer. So again, you end up with a win-win-win situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then during these team building activities, I think honesty is also very important. To tell people in an honest manner if they are, maybe lacking in an area, or if they can do better. I was at training this afternoon at karate, and there was a young child in the class, and he asked the sensei, who's the best rugby coach, for instance, at the school. And the sensei paused, and then he asked again. He said, what is the best coach like? And he was thinking what to answer, and he turned around and he said, the best coach is the coach that is honest.
Right.
And that made an impression on me. Because if we are just honest with people from the get-go, we are going to build stronger teams, because we are going to have that open. It's going to be a highway of communication. And team building will then be sometimes difficult, but it can be fun as well. Once we've passed the things that we need to tweak and change and adapt. So I love that. Thank you for your answer. I agree with you. Yes. Amen.
I think it really, if you trust me, right, I can speak the truth, and then you're not going to be offended. You're not going to be afraid that you're going to job, and then you can be
Yes.
okay. So it becomes, if you can trust me, then you can tell them the truth, and everybody wins that way. That's probably why I got top 10. Don't lie.
I love that. I love that. And since I've met you, you've got this energy, and it's a positive energy because you really facilitate that psychological safe space where I can experience that you're a very open and relaxed and calm and honest person. And even in our first session, I mean, we shared so much in our first connection, because it's really easy for me to communicate with you. And that is something that resonates from you. It's something that you emit. And it's telling me that, firstly, you trust yourself. And therefore, I can trust you because I feel that you are calm and collected. You are knowledgeable about what we are speaking about, and that is leadership. That is not jumping into the room and saying, I'm a leader. That is leading. You have that. Let me use this example. On the Ministers Fraternal, we have a lot of different personalities in the pastors. They differ completely from each other. And I love all of them, and they all have something positive about them. And then we will have these meetings or breakfasts once a month. And, some of us are, and I'm included, we are very loud, right? So we are always making the jokes and talking and laughing and, talking about amongst the congregations, because these pastors represent their congregations in our town. But there's one pastor that is very quiet. He's very calm. He's very collected. He's very knowledgeable. And it's so awesome to me to see that we'll all be laughing. There'll be banter and discussions, and we'll make jokes and ask about things. And he'll be quietly having his breakfast, laughing along. And the moment he says something, and he doesn't even speak very loudly, everybody's quiet, because when he says something, we know it is something of value, and we all want to hear. What is it that Murphy is saying? And I really feel like when you speak and the knowledge that you have that same presence for me. I can feel that you trust yourself in what you do. You are knowledgeable about people and about, the things that you address. And therefore, I can trust you. And that, to me, Jamie, is true leadership. So I want to commend you on that.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that compliment. Because, I used to think that I tell people this is going to be profound. So listen. So you just gave me the thing that I don't have to say the profound thing anymore. I can just speak and everybody might listen. So
yes, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I'm bringing you to another question. Who is Jesus to you?
Jesus is my life. I have to kind of group myself here when I start talking about him, because he has changed my life. I grew up with a mother that had me when she was 14 years old. My sister when she was 15 years old. We grew up together. I grew up in a small town and convinced that I would never amount to anything. And Jesus had different plans for me.
Amen.
And now I just live to serve him. If I'm serving Jesus, if I'm serving someone with his principles and with his love and compassion and grace and mercy, then my life is good, right? I don't need money. I don't need fame. I don't need anything, right? I just need to be able to connect with people, to be like this, and to live my life.
Amen.
And Jesus is to me, he's everything.
Amen. Amen. And look at the wonderful plans he had for you all this time. Look at all the lives that you are impacting. I am so, so proud of you. Like, it's really an honor to have you with us this evening. You are such a tremendous example to us. And amen, I agree with you. Jesus is everything.
Well, thank you so much for the compliment. That said, whoever thought a kid, and I have to wipe my tears off, but you ever heard of a kid in Dexter, Missouri, with 6,000 people would end up in West Palm Beach, Florida, and trying to end homelessness and to serve Jesus?
Yeah.
And that's a God thing, right? I thought he had this planned for me, and I'm just so grateful. I always say I'm grateful that he left the 99 to seek me, because I was one of those people who, at 14 started drinking and doing drugs. And from the time 14 to 50, probably there was not a day that I didn't either do some kind of drug or drink something. And, and when God is involved in it, like I heard Zig Zig, if you want to quit something, if you want to break a bad habit, do it for 6 weeks. And I quit drinking 6 weeks and doing drugs for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And, I didn't realize that you could wake up without a hangover, right? You could wake up with
goodness.
And I woke up Sunday mornings, and instead of being and trying to get around and move, I started listening to pastors on TV.
Wow.
And the first with the prosperity minister, and I needed that at the time, right? It's so amazing at the way that God leads you to different. That particular moment, I needed to hear a prosperity pastor. But, he has a plan for you, every single person. And if we will just, not control ourselves and have belief in ourselves, that when you get an opportunity to take it, then your life can be more, like he says, my life is not, my thoughts are not your thoughts, right?
Yes.
My thoughts, and I have a life better than you've ever imagined. And then you believe that you can do it through his love and mercy. And when you get into a situation, right, where you don't know what to do, he will show up and he will show you and he will deliver just the exact thing that you need at that moment. And
Absolutely.
so, I'm just so blessed that 99 that came after me, because I went way off track. But, I'm here today living a purpose-driven life that I think that God for me before the foundation of the world. And,
yes.
and I feel so blessed. And he puts me in contact with people that I need to come in contact with at that particular moment. And you just let go and let God, then your life is going to be good.
Amen. Amen. And as you said, it's a God thing.
That's right.
We got to make that a thing now, right? It's stuck with me now.
I'm screwed. Excuse me for that, but I'm messed up. But even trusting in him and trusting in the way that he's going to lead you, then you're going good. Because when I first started this self-development and leadership role, really, Juanita, I thought, man, James, you're getting smart here, right? Take over and you're going to be really good. And that pride came in. But, he will also bring you into situations where it will humble you as well. Right? And you accept that humility and grow in that humility and you become more like Jesus. Then, your life is just more than you can ask or think. And I believe that my life is great on this day, but there's better things to come, and the more that I listen to him and the more that I go down the path that he's has for me, then, it's just going to get better.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Which brings me to our second last question. And that is, what is next for you?
Well, I really am growing my coaching business at this moment, and I really want to do that. But again, I have to add some compliments to Jose, because when he got me, I never thought about doing a mastermind, right, of growing people. And so, and I thought to myself, and, I think a God-given thought that if I could have a mastermind group that I could grow, have if you could get to 15,000 people over 5 to 7 years, and have a paid membership, you can, if you think about 15,000 times 77, it's a lot of money, right?
Yes.
And if I can take that money and put it into spreading the love and the message of Jesus and ending homeless in Palm Beach County, then my life is complete, right? I tell people the only thing I want is I'd like to have a condo on the water and a what do you call the electric cars? I'm forgetting it right now.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Wow. Yes.
A place on the water and a Tesla, I have all I need. I'll give everything else away.
And of course, I saw a post about your beautiful lady in your home, your doggie. Would you like to tell us more about her?
Well, my little Lucy, if you never had a Boston Terrier and you're looking for a dog, I recommend a Boston Terrier because they're wonderful dogs. And, I've never been married and don't have kids. So she's my kid. And, she just brings joy into my life. And, when I come home, it's not an empty apartment. She's there to lick me and let me give her treats and take me on a walk. And, she's just a wonderful, wonderful dog. Again, it kind of comes to the unconditional love, right? Dogs will give you unconditional love, and she gives me unconditional love. And we're just a happy little pair.
I love that. And I love the fact that you said she takes you for a walk.
Pulls me and I go along beside her. But, again, it's like, how much health does she bring me by? We walk 30, 45 minutes in the morning, 40 minutes in the night. And so, if you don't feel like doing physical exercise and getting all sweaty, every day that you do, science proves that just going for little walks, 30 to 45 minutes, is tremendous health benefit. So she's trying to make me live longer so I can buy more treats.
She's got a good strategy. That's leadership. My final question to you, Jamie, is do you have any words of wisdom for the audience this evening?
Well, Juanita, I think that, just believe in yourself, right? If you believe in yourself, believe that you can do something in your environment that, you do think of the greatest things in the world or you're not going to accomplish anything, right? Think of something small. Think of something that you can do for someone else and not expect anything in return from you. And I'll go through with another Zig Ziglar quote. He says, if what I can tell you is infinitely more important than anything anyone else will ever tell you, believe in the Almighty God. Because if you do, I'm going to guarantee you that for the rest of your life and for eternity, you're going to rejoice and have a blessed life. So that's my words of wisdom. No matter what you're doing, serve other people, believe that you can do it, believe in God, and everything else is going to work out.
Wonderful, wonderful words of wisdom indeed. And may I just say from myself, thank you so much for joining us on Meticulous Moments. Thank you for everything that you shared with us, your life journey, your expertise, giving so freely of yourself to us this evening, helping us grow in our knowledge. It was really a wonderful pleasure to have you.
Well, and I'm very humbled that you allowed me to be a part of it. And I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jamie. And thank you to the audience who is watching. Thank you so much that, that you continue to support us. And we just want to say that at the end of this session, I'm going to share Jamie's contact details, network with him, reach out to him, support the projects that he is busy with, and let's all create a better society together. And once again, if there are any of the 42 billionaires listening this evening in Florida, please reach out to Jamie so that we can make a positive difference in 4,000 people's homeless people's lives. And with that, we bid you good evening. Goodbye.